Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Jen, and this is A Better Life with Jen. Today, I'm going to take you through a full day of eating, but this full day of eating is going to be a little bit different than something I would normally do. Today's full day of eating is going to be eating only Weight Watchers 0-point foods. Now, I have to say, I have never done Weight Watchers. I don't intend on ever doing Weight Watchers, but I found it interesting that they have all of these 0-point foods now. So the way Weight Watchers works now, from the best that I can gather and the best that I've researched, because I'm not going to pay to actually get their program, is that everybody is assigned a daily points allotment based on your gender, your height, your weight, your activity level. As far as I could tell, all those things go into it. You get a daily points allotment, and then you get a weekly sort of overflow points allotment that you can use, in a day if you want them all on one day, or if you want to distribute them throughout the week. So all of the foods apparently out there have Weight Watchers points assigned. They have an app, and I guess you can scan, barcodes in, and it'll tell you the points. But they have a whole list of 0-point foods that you can add in and will not count towards that daily points allotment. So I found it very interesting because a lot of these 0-point foods have a fair amount of calories, and you could not add any points but eat a lot of calories. And I was curious as to how does this impact your ability if you're using Weight Watchers to help you lose weight. So I thought it would be interesting to try to use nothing but 0-point foods and see how that ends up for a day. So when I looked up the 0-point foods, it's basically all vegetables, non-starchy vegetables. And then starchy vegetables includes all forms of potatoes and sweet potatoes. It includes eggs, egg whites, non-fat yogurt and cottage cheese. And then lean meats, so it can be lean beef, lean chicken, lean turkey, basically most fish and shellfish. And then fruits, as long as you are not diabetic. Apparently, Weight Watchers has a separate plan if you're diabetic, and fruits are not included in 0 points, so they need to be tracked. But if you are non-diabetic, then fruits count as well. The other thing is oatmeal, in terms of quick oats, whole oats are all included. So your complex carbohydrates are going to be oatmeal and potatoes. The one thing that is not included are any extra fats. So it's basically fats through eggs if you have those, and then any of your lean meats are going to have fats in them. So no nuts, no nut butters, no oils, butters, those sorts of things. And then seasonings are all 0-point foods. Other things are like vinegars, and mustard is a 0-point food. So I thought it would be fun to just create a full day of eating using nothing but 0-point foods. So come along as I do this full day of eating with Weight Watchers 0-point foods. All right, so it is time for my pre-workout snack. Now, my normal go-to pre-workout food is either a Pop-Tart or a Rice Krispie treat, something that has very quick, easily digesting carbohydrates to get me some quick energy for my morning workout. However, not surprisingly, neither of those things are on the Weight Watchers 0-point food list. However, fruit is. So I'm going to go with some fruit. I have some cut up pineapple here. So pineapple is a great fruit. It has enzymes that actually help with digestion. So really, really good. And will give me some nice quick carbohydrates so that I can get that workout in. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this, get my workout, and I will catch you back when it is time for breakfast. Well, I am back and it is time for breakfast. So I am going to cook up some eggs. Now, eggs are on the Weight Watchers 0-point food list. I'm also going to have some oatmeal, and that is also on the list. So we'll go ahead and get that cooked up, and then I'll show you what I got. So for breakfast here, I have the 3 eggs that I cooked, some oatmeal that I cooked up. I have some blueberries, and then I'm going to put a little bit of cinnamon on the oatmeal. I'm going to put some of the blueberries into the oatmeal. Now, normally I tend to have maybe one egg with some extra egg whites. Today I'm actually having 3 whole eggs, and the reason is that there's no other fats in this meal. I tend to use things like nut butters in my oatmeal to add some other fats. However, those are not on the 0-point food list. So the only fats in this meal are coming from the eggs, so that is why I went with the 3 whole eggs instead of an egg with extra egg whites. And I'll go ahead and I'll put the macros and calories up for this whole meal. I'm gonna go ahead, enjoy this, and then I will catch back up with you when it is time for lunch. All right, so it is time for a lunch, and I am going to make a bowl for lunch today. And I am choosing for my complex carbohydrate, I have potatoes. And I just bought these hash browns, which the only ingredient is potatoes. So they're just frozen. Basically, they're just finely diced potatoes. But they are on the 0-point list. So I just put these in the air fryer just to crisp them up a little bit. So I have these in the bowl here. I have some fresh steamed broccoli and then some roasted chicken that I had previously just cooked in the air fryer, and I just sliced that up. And then for a seasoning on it, because obviously most sauces would not be on the 0-point list, I'm just gonna use some plain yellow mustard. I love mustard on anything, so I think it's gonna taste really good. So I have the potatoes already cooked in the air fryer. I'm just gonna toss in the steamed broccoli and then put on the chicken. And then just put a little mustard on the whole thing, which plain yellow mustard is on the 0-point list. So I think this looks great. I love mustard, and I think it's gonna taste really good. So we'll give this a taste here. We'll get some of the potatoes. They're nice and crunchy from the air fryer. Some of that chicken. Really good. The potatoes, nice and crunchy, because like I said, I cooked them in the air fryer. That mustard adds a great flavor to it. So this is a really good 0-point lunch. I will put the calories and macros up for this as well. And then I will check back in with you when it is time for dinner. Well, it is time for dinner, and so for my 0-point dinner, I have a green salad, which I'm going to use just red wine vinegar as the salad dressing with a little bit of salt and pepper, because salad dressing is not on the 0-point list. I have some yellow potatoes that I just steamed. Actually, I threw them in the microwave, and just have those with a little bit of salt and pepper as well. And then I have a lean turkey burger. So this is just a turkey burger. It's just ground turkey and seasoning, so some Italian seasoning, some salt and pepper as well, that I had previously grilled up a bunch of them. So I had those meal prepped, and then just a couple of baby carrots as well. I'm gonna add a little more mustard to my turkey burger because I am a mustard girly, and that is on the list. And then to drink, I have an A&W Ice Cream Sundae Zero Sugar Soda. So from best I could tell, diet sodas are allowed on the 0-point list. Even if they weren't, I'm having this. These are a limited edition for summer, and let me tell you, they're fabulous. Tastes just like an ice cream sundae. So this is gonna be my 0-point dinner. It's gonna be really tasty. I'll put the calories and macros up here as I have with all of the meals. So we'll go ahead and have this, and then I will catch you back for a little after dinner treat. All right, so it is time for my after dinner sweet treat, which normally is a protein bar. However, those are obviously not on the list. So Greek yogurt is. So I am going with some non-fat plain Greek yogurt with some frozen blueberries on it. So I actually like plain Greek yogurt. It has a tart kind of tangy taste, but I really do like that. So, and I just threw on some of the frozen berries, gives it a really nice little sweetness from the berries. So this is gonna be my evening sweet treat, and I'll put the calories and macros up here for you. And then once I finish this, we're gonna sit down and I'll recap the day, let you know what I thought of the 0-point food eating day. So I thought it would be good to do a recap of my day of only eating Weight Watchers 0 Point Foods, give you what the total macro and calorie breakdown was, how that compares to my normal day of eating, and my thoughts on it. So the first thing I noticed was that the fats were much lower than my normal day of eating. I tend to use nuts, nut butters, avocado, olive oil, butter, those sorts of things. And so my fats came out much lower. So the total breakdown for the day was 239 grams of carbohydrates, 41 grams of fat, and 121 grams of protein. So all three of those were lower than my normal sort of daily intake. And it came out to be 1,809 calories, which also is quite a bit lower than I normally do. So my protein is usually more closer to 140, 150 grams, and my fats are normally closer to 65 to 70 grams, and carbohydrates tend to be closer to 275 to 300, and that's just what works for me. I'm a very active person. Remember, what works for somebody is not going to necessarily work for you, so I don't want you to take what I have, but just knowing that this was very different than my normal day. The other thing, I missed some of my protein added, things. I like protein bars, protein shakes. I just think they taste good. Could you use Weight Watchers 0 Point Foods only and have a well-balanced, intake? Absolutely. It's a whole foods, so a lot fewer preservatives. And so, it is a pretty healthy way to eat, but it does get kind of bland and a little bit boring. The other thing is I missed my almond milk. I didn't have coffee because I don't like black coffee, and I usually have almond milk. So that was a little bit sad. But like I said, overall, it's a very, very healthy way of eating. I think what Weight Watchers is counting on is that people are not probably going to overeat huge quantities of, chicken breast, lean beef, broccoli, oatmeal, those sorts of things. And they do say on their website that portions still matter. So you can't have like 3 cups of oatmeal. You're still supposed to have like a regular size portion of all of these foods. So overall, it was very interesting to do. It's not something obviously that you are supposed to do, continuously. The whole point is that you have your regular, foods with points, and you can put these in to help bulk up your intake or add a little more volume. But I thought it was good. It was fun. It was interesting. Definitely, I missed some of my more fun foods that I will put back in. And, to get the intake that I normally have, there would be I'd have to add a lot more things like potatoes. The one really good thing I did see is that it definitely had me increase my fruit intake. I tend to not eat a lot of fruit and tend to get most of my carbohydrates from more complex carbohydrate sources. So it was great in terms of, I had 3 servings of fruit today, which is a little bit unusual for me, but really healthy. And therefore the fiber intake was really good today. So these are just my thoughts on the full day of eating using only Weight Watchers 0 Point Foods. If you have done Weight Watchers, comment below what you think about their point system and the 0 Point Foods. If you have any other types of eating or diets you would like me to try, just, comment on that. It would be interesting to try some other forms for a day. Just to kind of, give it a try. If you found this video interesting or you liked it, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, all of the things. I do appreciate it. And I will see you next week with another video.